Hello, Ellie here with WhoCulture. How is everybody doing? Oh my god, we're so close to the 60th now. It's very weird to think that the 50th was 10 years ago because it feels like yesterday. But at the same time, we'll have to wait another 10 years to have another big event like this. So, speaking of excited, after filming this, am heading to London to film some very special content with some very cool people. I'm not going to say any more than that, but keep your eyes peeled to the channel for some very exciting things coming up. Speaking of which, we've got so much to talk to you about. We've got new 60th pictures, we've had a huge casting announcement, and we've had some information about a potential new trailer. So we're going to start by talking about the casting announcement, and then we'll get into the trailer stuff later, so make sure that you stick around for all of that. So of course the first thing we have is the casting announcement for Miriam Margolyes as the Meep. It's one of those things that we kind of all assumed. It was actually rumoured in The Sun back in November 2022 that Miriam Margolyes was going to be taking on a significant role in the 60th anniversary specials. And then once the trailer was released at Christmas and we heard Beep the Meep speaking, everyone was like, well, that's Miriam Margolyes. So we were all kind of fairly certain about that casting, but it hadn't actually been confirmed. But there you have it, it's now been announced officially. Miriam Margolyes is the Meep. Not Beep the Meep, just the Meep. So the other thing we've had is Who Spy. I am going to put my glasses on again so that I can have a look at the images while we speak. So Who Spy isn't actually a new thing, but basically it's the anonymous persona of a spy on set of Doctor Who. It's a online campaign to kind of leak images for the 60th, and it actually was first introduced back in 2004 in the build-up to RTD's first run as showrunner when Doctor Who was returning in 2005. So it's a nice little nod back to Russell T Davies, and he's also been interacting with this anonymous spy. So the posts have been made, and if you look on Instagram, Russell has been commenting on those posts. I believe the first one he replied, "Who spy, my old enemy?" So please make sure that you are letting us know in the comments down below what you think about each of these images. So I'm going to go through them now. I've got them here on my screen. So the first image is a shot of a clapperboard, and we can see David Tennant there as well, clearly in a house, probably Donna's house, I'm going to assume. On the clapperboard, it says that it's an episode directed by Rachel Talalay, so we can assume then that that is episode 1, The Star Beast. The date on it is the 11th of May 2022. I mean, how crazy is that? That's how long we've been waiting for these specials. 2022, I mean, I know that we're only halfway through 2023, but still, it just feels like forever, doesn't it? Now, one of the theories that we've had here is that this is the kind of reintroduction of that Doctor Who Confidential. Like, was this image captured by the cameras of Doctor Who Confidential, or whatever the new version of that will be? I think it's rumoured to be called Unleashed. Personally, I'm very excited for the return of Doctor Who Confidential in whatever form it will be. I loved watching that after. You'd watch the episode on BBC One and then you'd switch over to BBC Three straight after and watch Confidential, and it was great. It was a great time to be alive. Next image. Okay, so this looks like some sort of art studio of some description. Some of those drawings look a little bit like equipment that John Logie Baird used when he was developing television. Especially that circle thing, the circle machine looking bit, that's called a Nipkow disc, if that's what this is, which is a key component in the development of television. So you kind of have to zoom in a lot to look at it, but considering that we had the Stooky Bill stuff, Stooky Bill? We saw that in the most recent trailer that we saw, so that paired with this other television stuff kind of seems to support the suggestion that the giggle is something that perhaps Neil Patrick Harris's character maybe goes back to the creation of television and then implants that within television. It's kind of giving me like a cross between the Idiot's Lantern and when the Doctor put the silence message over the moon landing. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. That the creation of television is somehow going to influence the future with some sort of implanted footage. Maybe. Okay, image number 3. It's very blue. We've got some sort of metallic structure with some sort of writing engraving on it. Now, a lot of people's initial thoughts were that this writing looked like the language that we saw in The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit that was all over... What was his name? That dude. I remember him terrifying me as a kid when he had the eyes and the writing. Anyway, not the point. That part of the episode, a lot of people have drawn similarities between this writing here and the writing there. It's not actually the same, but I can definitely see where you would get that connection from. Personally, when I first saw it, we all know who my favourite character is, so my first thought actually went to the black box that was in the Time of Angels that Riversong used to carve into on the Byzantium so that she could give the coordinates to the Doctor to come and save her. That was what came to my mind. Again, if you look, it's not the same at all. But that was my first thought, which then made me think, oh my god, are we going to see more Riversong? Again, as well, she carved the rock face that said hello sweetie on it as well in the Pandorica Opens. So maybe we can hope that it might be River. Also, this looks like it's probably from Wild Blue Yonder. I mean, there's a lot of blue in this image, so maybe that's a hint. But it also looks like the shot that we saw in the recent trailer. We didn't get much from that particular episode, but there were some shots of the Doctor in what looked like potentially a TARDIS, and it was very blue, and I would suggest that this image is from that episode. There's also another thing that people have suggested from this writing. Personally, I don't think this is what's going to happen, but some people have drawn a similarity to the tattoo on Carla Jex's face in A Town Called Mercy. I think of all of the suggestions that we've made so far, that's the least likely, but you know, we'll put it out there just in case we see the return of Carla Jex. Okay, the 4th image, terrifying. It's kind of a clown wooden carving. This is creepy. I'm not sure about this. Of course, the Celestial Toymaker, who many people, including our very own Sean Ferrick, is convinced is who Neil Patrick Harris is playing. He had 2 minions, and they were clowns. So I think that judging by this image, Sean will be very happy. I think the thing that kind of solidifies this theory, although most clowns do have this, is the lines over the eyes. If you look at an image, which I'm sure has appeared right here, of those clowns, of the Celestial Toymaker, they have that on their face, and so does this carving. So just another similarity to make there. But at the same time, we've seen clowns in Doctor Who in other forms and other episodes as well. So clowns aren't exclusive to the Celestial Toymaker, but it's definitely a connection that could be made. And the 5th image. This one makes me very happy, but not for the right reasons. First and foremost, this is a shot, so it's a shot of the TARDIS down an alleyway. This is one of the shots that was caught when they were filming in Bristol. How do I know this? Because I've mentioned this before, I went to university in Bristol, and so all of those shots that I've seen of the exterior shots that they caught in Bristol, I recognise all of those streets. I even recognise this particular alleyway. So that's it's slightly frustrating. Why couldn't they have filmed this while I was still living there instead of like many years after I left? But whatever. What else we got? There's not a lot really to say about this poster. I've just given away my talking point. There's not really a lot to say about this image, but there are some posters on the wall, and one of them is for Henrik's. Now, if you remember, Henrik's was the name of the store that Rose Tyler worked in Rose. So whether this is actually relevant or more of just a little Easter egg, a little nod to Russell's first stint as showrunner, that remains to be seen. But it's still a nice little nod there, regardless as to whether it's massively important or just a little wink wink. But yeah, make sure you let us know your thoughts on these images in the comments down below. I mean, that's the whole point of them, is to get people talking and speculating. So let's give the BBC what they want, shall we? Now, of course, the other thing that we would definitely not want to forget about is the glitch. So over the weekend, we got another glitch ident aired on BBC One. So it featured the Strictly theme tune playing backwards, and it also had some more binary code. Now, we have seen some of these glitches with binary code before, and they gave us hints to trailers and other things. So this binary code translated to Saturday the 23rd of September, BBC One, 6:13 p.m. This is right before Strictly starts at 6:15 p.m. So Are we gonna get a whole meaty 2-minute trailer? I mean, that would be very, very exciting. Now, of course, there is actually no guarantee that this is gonna be a trailer, but considering that this was the hint that we got in the previous glitches, and then we did get a trailer just before Eurovision, it kind of seems quite likely. But who knows, they may throw us off completely. There was some other binary code that was translated in this trailer, and it said, "Their time has come." That seems very ominous, a little bit scary. I'm going to assume that the they means the Doctor and Donna, in which case I'm quite scared for what that means. Their time has come. But this then does lead us to wonder, what are we going to see if we do have another trailer coming? You know, are we going to see more of Shooty? Are we going to see more of this kind of mysterious second episode that we don't seem to know very much about? Now that I assume the trailers have already been edited way, way, way in advance, but considering that we now know about the casting of Miriam Margulies, are we going to see a little bit more of Beep the Meep, knowing now that it's Miriam Margulies? And most importantly, are we going to see some of Wilf? I really think that if we see Wilf, it will make everyone very sad, but it will also make everyone very happy. I think everyone's hoping, and I believe that that Bernard Cribbins did film all of his content before he sadly passed away. But I think everyone is just hoping that that is the case, and we're going to get as much of Wilf as we possibly can. So let's just hope for Wilf. But let us know in the comments down below what you want to see if we are getting a trailer next weekend. Next weekend? This weekend? Well, technically this weekend. Yeah, let us know your thoughts. So I'm going to put my glasses back up here now because I realised I left them on for most of the video, but I hope that that's okay. Hope nobody minds. It helps me see. Like I said, let us know your thoughts on the images, the Who Spy images, and what you would like to see in a potential trailer that we may or may not, but probably will be getting on the 23rd of September. As I said, there's something very special coming up on the channel very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I've been Ellie with WhoCulture, and in the words of Riversong herself, goodbye, sweeties.